podcast of our
All
right.
on purpose.
All right, Pot of Gold, welcome back. The biggest podcast of our lives. Look at that, Sam Murphy in the chat hitting up the first. Respect it.
Whoa, we alternate our heavy hitters first in the chat, dude. That's crazy.
QG is punching air right now.
QG's usually number one. Sam jumping in. That's awesome.
There we go.
There's Gerald.
Call them all out.
All of them are rolling in.
There's dozens of you. Yeah, of course. Grant's not ready for action. Pot of Gold, welcome back. I'm Brett. I'm here with Mike. Grant the intern, running the boards off the bye week, undisclosed location. We're here. It's here, Mike.
I couldn't be more excited to be on this podcast with you guys tonight. I mean, this is we talked. There's just something. There's something in the air, right? And November hits. It's LSU Bama week. For whatever reason, no matter what history tells us, no matter what the season's looking like at any particular time, whenever we square up against Bama, the days leading up to it, like all you remember, all you think about is the best version of this LSU team. You take away everything that's ever gone bad, and you only focus on the elite plays and the heavy hitting and the playmakers and the unbelievable version of ourselves. And that's on repeat all week. And I love that. I love that because it really gets you exciting. And all you're thinking about is the potential that this team has to go against an elite program for the second year in a row, have a chance to knock them off and, kind of write your claim as the SEC West leader in the doghouse. And so, yeah, I'm really pumped.
Every year I always forget how different the Bama week feels. Like there's just so much energy. Like I'm consuming everything out there. Like even Jake Crane, I'm like, fuck it. Like I gotta hear his take on this game. I allowed myself to kind of like ease into it. I was like, bye week is a true bye week. We're not thinking about Bama. Let's just enjoy a day of college football. Sunday morning, and I awoke and I was just like, I can't go this long until Saturday. Like it's gonna be a fun game.
It's tough. It's tough to go that long. But it's exciting. It's that first taste. Vinny in the chat. We have a Vinny sighting in the chat. It's incredible.
Friend of the program.
Yeah, it's incredible to be able to be in this position. It's always a fun time. Listen, regardless of what happens, I'm prepared for it this weekend on whether it's a win or a loss. But hell, I'm going into this with the purple and gold goggles on. I'm all in. That's the point of this podcast, is to be as fucking excited as possible. Yeah, we've got depleted depth at DB. Yeah, Mekhi Wingo's out for the season. Yeah, I don't know who is actually playing DB. But guess what? We're playing Bama. We have the number one offense in the nation. We have a Heisman Trophy contender. And we've got history in our back pocket that tells us we can win this game. And Bama is not Bama this year that we're traditionally used to. This is a beatable team. Has LSU had some serious issues and some losses? Sure. But it's time to nut up and play grown man football. And I think we're going to do that this week. So I'm fucking excited. But I also have an ad to read.
Yeah, I was gonna say we are have a close friend's wedding. Dude, that's not a close friend. Like if you have a close friend getting married on Saturday of the bear, yeah, the comment right below.
Sorry.
Irish goodbye before halftime. Like, dude.
No. Sam, you can't be first in the chat.
I would just go eat some raw chicken and hope to get food poisoning. Like if that's what it took to not be in attendance for this and to sit there and I had to go to the bathroom 37 times during the game, like that's what I would be willing to do.
That's a tough call. That's a tough call for you. It's easy. It's an easy decision.
Brutal.
With that being said, here is a word from our sponsors for this episode, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Primetime Pawn Shop in Colorado. Why shop anywhere else when you can have the finest 5-star quality jewelry experience? We're talking watches, chains, pinky rings, even gold and platinum athletic mouthpieces that'll make your dentist jealous. At Primetime Pawn Shop, we don't just sell jewelry, we elevate your lifestyle. Our jewelry is so exquisite, it'll make you reconsider your existence. Do you consider your dog a true celebrity? Well, meet our special collection of custom crystal dog collars, perfect for your 4-legged friends if they have the name Shiloh, Amarion, or Savell. And if your dog doesn't have a Hollywood name, we can help you make them feel like they do. But back to the serious stuff. Our jewelry is so luxurious it makes the other pawn shops look like a kid's lemonade stand. That's right. We're not here to mess around. Wow. When you step into Primetime Pawn Shop, you're not shopping, you're investing in a future extravagance. You'll walk out feeling like $1 million without actually spending $1 million. Now, sorry guys, this is a long one. Now we know why would I go to Primetime Pawn Shop instead of some fancy jewelry store? Well, because, dear listener, our jewelry comes with a story of time. Of a time when someone else needed cash and made the mistake of letting go of these precious gems. Wink, wink. And now it's your chance to swoop in and make their loss your gain. So if you got a taste for the finer things in life, come on down to Primetime Pawn in Colorado. We'll have you dripping in so much bling, even your shadow will need sunglasses. Remember, when it's prime time, it's showtime at Primetime Pawn Shop. We've got your style, your swagger, and your sparkle. Primetime Pawn. Because luxury doesn't have to come with a luxury price tag. Thank you, guys.
That was a long one. Great ad read.
We appreciate them.
Ad free the rest of the episode, thanks to Primetime Pawn. So definitely check them out. All right, I think
Ryan Landry in the chat.
Shout out, what up, boys? I think we filibustered enough to let the live viewers get in. I told you I was going to ask you this before the pod, and I decided to wait.
Okay.
If I guaranteed you LSU would score 40, would you take it?
Yes.
So what's the number? If I said 35,
how low?
If I said 35, then would you take it?
Yeah, we're gonna score. Are you saying
not at least? I'm not saying at least. I'm saying you can pick how much LSU scores today and what you think that they can win.
Will be the winning margin? Yeah.
Make a deal with the devil and say, guarantee me LSU 42.
35 is not enough.
I agree. It's not enough. I wouldn't do
because of this year's defense or in the history.
I think this game is going to be fucking back and forth, and whoever has a couple stops is going to win this game. And yeah, you gotta hold them to field goals because it's going to be a high scoring game.
So since Saban's been gone, we've only scored.
It doesn't matter.
No, I'm just saying.
Since you've been gone, you know how many other records that we have set this year?
I know. That's what I'm saying. And that's why I want to say it, because last time I said it was a big thing.
Then say it.
We've scored in 2007. We scored 41, and in 2019 we scored 46. Last year we scored 32. There was no other game that we've had more than 30 points since 2001.
We need to score 40 plus. And I think the number that I'm comfortable at worst case scenario, I don't know, 38.
Like, if I could pick it, I would pick 45. Like, I would feel comfortable saying it's 45-0. Let's see how it plays out. Our offense is done for the day. But
yeah. I think
anything lower, it's like I'm willing to risk the gamble of the offense doing it out there, because it's, look, Gerald in the chat, I think the young corner surprised some people. Like, yeah, man, let me throw on those purple and gold glasses and
I'm
ride
down.
the train.
That's what this
we have no fucking idea if that's true or not. And it's just the simple fact of it. Like, yeah, man, it's like we act like a guy that gets an LSU scholarship is like a dog shit player. It's like we get good players here. These guys have potential. It's just we have to see it. And it's just scary to look at what LSU's done at defensive back all year, and it's like we're not even thinking about trying these guys, and now we have to.
Let the boys
so it's like,
let the boys
I think they're going to play well. Look, I mean, this is a game that your front seven has to help out these DBs more than the DBs have to make plays. It's like Bama's been making big plays off of corners all season. It's like limit those to just a couple times and do your work, do your job the rest of the time, and I think you're going to be okay.
Yeah. So we can go many different directions here. I think staying on this topic, we can dive right into the Alabama versus LSU matchup. But there's a lot of shit that went down this past weekend and into the week that, I mean, we've got an eye-poking story from you that we need to get to. The Stallion situation, I mean, this guy is a hero. I mean, by all means, very, like, now the cheating has escalated to a point where I'm just like, yeah, I get it. Like, this is bad. But, like, now it's amazing. It's truly remarkable, and we need to touch on that. The Dabo rant, Tyler, was excellent.
God.
Colorado jewelry. I don't know if y'all heard that story, but all the jewelry from the Colorado team was jacked.
I didn't hear that
by the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. Damn. So, yeah. Okay. Bobby Knight died.
Bobby Knight, dude, an absolute legend. As soon as I heard the news, I immediately went to YouTube and watched his golf clips because, like, there's no, dude. That's like C-rated Bobby Knight. If you watch him not be able to hit a ball out of the bunker and just curse constantly, then you know what Bobby Knight's about.
I haven't seen that.
We'll watch it after the episode. It's so funny. He's like, they're doing some instructional video, and he's like, he hits it, and he's like, can't use that one, motherfucker. And he just starts cursing at himself every time. It's great.
A hockey player murdered on ice. I don't know. Did y'all see that shit?
I did.
Yes, dude. I wasn't expecting that from you. Not to laugh.
Dude, I was watching that last night, and I pull out my pod notebook, and I'm just like, I have to mention this. That's insane.
It was incredible.
Like, it's something you watch on, like, fucking, I don't know, like a horror movie, and it's just I'm just scrolling Twitter. It's like, another day.
The fact that the player didn't leave there in handcuffs or something, like, they're still, like, discussing it. It's kind of crazy.
I mean, it was a kung fu kick. Like, there was no.
It was a complete. I mean, I'm sure he didn't mean to kill him, but he intentionally threw his skate in his face.
Allegedly, guys. Come on.
He's in another country.
We had the first rankings, obviously. That's a big discussion. You don't like the rankings, Brett. You don't like it.
No, it just like it proved my point in the group chat of, like, cool, a 12-team playoff, but we're still having, like, goobers fucking decide who gets in. And I don't know.
But it's kind of accurate, though. I mean, like, I don't think there's a lot of teams behind them. I'd be like, I don't know. A&M needs a shot in this.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan State being where they are is kind of a mockery of it all. 3, I think.
You mean
Ohio State, Georgia?
Michigan. I was about to say, you said Michigan State, and I'm like, where the fuck are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Missouri was the only question mark. But it's like you could tell that they were like, okay, no 2-loss team is going to be higher than whatever.
They're all just covering their ass. They don't want to have to do all the fucking rigmarole if we lose to Bama, and they have already put us up there. They're waiting. They're being cowards about it, and they're just taking their time. We beat Bama. We're going to have an incredible leap, and no one's going to fucking worry about where Missouri's at. They're being lazy right now. They're letting games play out.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
I'm not going to get worked up about it, but I'm not a fan of the system. Anti-establishment.
But they do go. Look, I said Ohio State most complete team, and I think
they listened.
The committee agreed, right? They agreed. Do I think they're the best team? No, but I think they're the most complete team. That's like the most. I was just kidding, by the way, but like that's just like the most ESPN answer there is.
Don't let Chris Broussard get on the answer. Speaking of, did you not see that?
No. What are we talking
about? Is he an R word?
Chris Broussard dropped the R word, and then was like, like yesterday.
My wife made me turn the TV off.
And it kept the conversation went on, and the Nick Wright dude was like, well, I wouldn't use that word. And he goes, my first cousin was, dude, it's an absolute.
He's like, okay, a learning disability or whatever he said.
With that, okay, since we're on that topic,
no.
Do we not think that the Stallions guy is like a Make-A-Wish situation and he just went rogue?
I told you he's giving off black sheep Gary Busey vibes to me. Like this dude is definitely not all there. There's some damn. I want this to be an like 99% rogue operation that like at
Yes.
least got
Hero.
thumbs up. I don't think that's what it is, unfortunately. I think Harbaugh it was a little more involved than let's say 1%. I think that's fair when
But
there's
it's hard
videos of
to
them like ear to ear
yeah.
sidelines.
It's hard to separate that criteria that I just mentioned with like, "Oh, well, he's close with Harbaugh." It's like, well, Jim drinks milk every morning. He eats like raw chicken. He wears
He's a
weird
lunatic.
glasses. Like he's a loon. Maybe this guy's a loon, right? I mean,
No,
he
no,
got a
no,
fucking pair of
definitely.
Ray-Bans to record basically his urinal visits. I mean, like, what are we gonna get from that footage that you can't get from like Huddle? What are you doing?
I would take the day off of work to read the manifesto. Like, I wanna get my hands on this more than I want it just outside of an LSU victory on Saturday. Like, that is my wish. I need to get my hands on this and, like, dig in. Um, it's a wild situation. It's absolutely hilarious that this dude just shows up in khakis in a Central Michigan, and McElwain's like, "I've never seen this man in my life."
This Central Michigan picture, when I first saw it, I'm like, "Oh, here we go. Now they're gonna like this will be like a funny meme of like they're just gonna make everybody on every sideline look like this guy, and it's funny." And then like I don't know, somebody with a blue check retweeted it, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, like this is traction, like this is real." And dude, once I realized that this is real, I can't get enough of this. I cannot
It's
get
so
enough
funny.
of this story. And dude, the layers that are in this are probably just that. They're probably endless. I mean, like
I
this show,
wish
dude, McElwain is all in on this. You know that.
we have to figure out how this is criminal somehow because like we need court discovery. Like I need to spend forever watching like leaks come out of like this dude's flight logs, text messages between Harbaugh.
Venmo.
Like there
And we're
is
getting
so
there.
much shit. But like I don't know if it's like I don't know if that's like ever gonna get to us is what I'm saying. Like it's this is the
It,
funniest story. I can't get enough of it. Like I want to do the investigative podcast on this entire
we
incident.
should.
It's so funny.
This will be. I cannot wait for this documentary. It's going to take a while to make, but like I cannot wait for this to happen. I want to hear this guy, dude. I want to get like I want to hear him on Rogan. Like I want to get some type of information about like who this dude is. Like we don't know. I haven't seen like an Instagram picture. I haven't seen like an old class photo. Like this guy's a ghost.
This guy got me so jacked up. I went on Amazon Prime and went and started Reacher again because I was like, this feels like a military dude, just like a psycho on a psycho mission, and it's been great.
But like, what was his name? Austin Thomas.
Yes,
Our
Like,
GM.
he was
uh,
great. He used to play Madden with recruits.
yeah. But like, I don't know, dude. Like, we have all these fucking general managers and all these positions. It's like you ain't got a Connor Stallions, bro. Like
No,
that's the person you need to hire. Someone like that.
no, I think Stallion like from a sports perspective, I think Stallions is funnier than the whole Patino stuff. The Patino stuff was just kind of it got a little sad there, but it
Yeah.
is very funny.
Well, let's talk about Bama, dude. We've got a lot we can talk about after we go over Bama about kind of current events and we talk about last week. And I just felt like Stallions had to be ushered into the beginning of this show just in
I
case we didn't.
mean, 12 seconds. Dabo
We'll
is
do it.
Dabo's lost, man.
I thought that was fucking love that speech.
I waited for like 3 of the Thamel fucking Ross Dellinger type people to tweet it before I was 100% sure this wasn't like one of those AI audios.
Yeah.
It's just oh man,
I,
I love that somehow the weirdness is coming back to college football. It felt like for a while it got
you
almost
need a Dabo.
a little too professional. All these dudes are making fucking $9 million a year to coach. And it got a little and I feel like we're just back with coaches yelling at dudes on coaches shows at TJ Ribs. Like
Yeah.
this is my college football. Like, this is a Friday Night Lights type of thing that we live in again, and it makes me happy.
Being able to witness the rise and fall of Clemson has been interesting to say the least, because we were around kind of like whenever we were going through some tough situational times at the end of Les Miles' tenure, really actually towards the middle, middle end of his tenure there. Clemson started to recruit well, and they had a couple good seasons, and you could tell they were building something. And then eventually they were just, at the top of the mountain. It was them and Bama back and forth. I mean, like there was no other teams. Like Ohio State would sneak in around and kind of make an appearance, but it was Clemson and Bama back and forth. And then eventually, I mean, we knocked them off, to be honest. Like
It's crazy how
2019.
quick that shit happens. Like, I just remember watching, I think it was probably like a Deshaun Watson team where it was like the second year they played them in a row, and it may have not been both national championships. I don't remember, but it felt like we were like stuck for a
Yeah.
long time in what we were watching. And to see it kind of like disappear so quickly is weird.
It is weird, and it's interesting, and kind of puts things in perspective of like how Alabama has completely like changed our perspective of like what it means and the appreciation of like having a really good team for
Longevity.
a handful of years and being able to appreciate that, instead of like what Bama does, where it's like that's not real, like that's not realistic. So
Yeah.
the fact that you can have teams like Clemson build multiple national championship seasons, and when they're not in the national championship, they lost the national championship, or they were in the playoffs. It's like the amount of dominance that they had, and then now it's like, oh, they start 4-4. Last season they had a little rocky season, still won like 11 games. All hell's breaking loose, and it's wild to see another team. We had like a very small, like micro version of that with Les, where we started to kind of see like, oh shit, like we're not those dudes anymore. Like every game is on the line here. And we're not guaranteed to backdoor into the national championship anymore. Like Clemson's now tasting that on a larger scale with Dabo, and his character is now, for my appreciation, but no like interest in the program, he's being a buffoon and wild and like fully transparent, no filter, and I love it. At Clemson's expense, I love it. Like it is so entertaining. It's fun to watch.
Look, sign me up. If Brian Kelly wants to do what Dabo did at Clemson and get us to the dance and give us a couple titles here, and then he wants to just start F-bombing everybody at TJ Ribs as we like send him packing in year 9, sign me up. Sign me up.
Then he says, how long is Dabo's leash? In my opinion, that dude could stay there as long as he wants to, but I think this type of pressure is going to make him crack, and he's going to get himself fired, like by doing something stupid. He's not going to get ushered out because of losses.
I could see pulling an Urban and being like, I had a health scare, I need to be with my family, and then pictures emerge of him at Hooters and like he's trying to take the Michigan State job in 3.
I feel like he'll flip a table and say GD and be like, I have gone against everything I stand for. This game has brought me to this point. I'm out.
I don't know what Clemson did with the T-shirts, so if the chat wants to fill us in, they can.
I don't know.
But yeah, we're gonna see that with Georgia. Like you said, Alabama has made us think that when you see a dynasty, quote unquote
like, oh, great.
dynasty,
it's here to stay for 20 years.
Here's the next decade and a half of my life, and it's like I think the 12-team playoff obviously helps someone like Georgia, who's going to be able to mix it up for a long time. But these just dominant reigns don't stick around as long as you think.
Alabama's given up 35 sacks this season. I think that's a good place to start. The fewest they've given up in a game is 4.
Thank God for Pete Jenkins.
If we get a sack, we win. That's the stat of Brian Kelly's tenure.
Hey, dude.
Bring it
back. Coming back with the facts. Tommy Tanks.
I do think that's where the game's won and lost. LSU's going to be able to score their points. Milrow's going to be able to hit Burton and Bond on a couple deep balls for touchdowns throughout the game. But it's like, can the D-line get pressure and contain this dude, get sacks on him. Can the linebackers, can Harold Perkins be the best player on the field? Like I really do think the entire game comes down to that. The line of scrimmage, their offensive line versus our defensive line. Throw in Harold Perkins in the mix.
Yeah, you got to throw them out of their game. Like you got to get them where Alabama has to score every drive, right?
Yep.
Like if we can get them to that position, they're not made for that. That's not what they're built for. Are they going to get away with some of that by launching it deep and testing our corners and just hoping for a pass interference call, or, Bond and Burton come up with a couple, big time plays? Yes, that's going to happen almost every series. But you have to think these kids are going to rise to the occasion, and at least come up with a handful of stops. They play their best games against Alabama every year. Where I feel as if we have no chance is the surprising years where we come out. Sure, there have been a handful in that fucking gauntlet that we went through where they beat the hell out of us, but not with a well-coached football team like this team is. They're a well-coached team as a whole. Defensively, there's certainly some issues. Okay, we got a comment here. We need Milrow to give us a few too.
I feel like I've seen this comment like along this lines throughout the week, and it's always frustrated me. The comment from friend of the program, Huge Erection.
Yeah, don't get on Huge.
No, but it's like I'm tired of people saying, "Oh, we need Bama to gift us a few." It's like this offense doesn't need any fucking gifts. Like this, it's not the years of the Jordan Jefferson, the Danny Etling, who is a good quarterback. Of like, man, Bama's gonna have to put it on the ground like a few times.
No, we just need stops.
Like fuck that. You need to make stops. That's kind of the name of the game. But it's like I don't think this team needs Bama to play their worst game in Nick Saban's era and throw 7 interceptions. It's like this offense just needs a crack. They just need a little crack, and they can score every time they touch the ball. So it's like, and not to harp on Hugh G, like I said, our guy, but it's like everything I watch and like all these comments on Twitter of like, well, we need Milrow to have a bad first half. It's like, fuck that. We don't.
It just needs a little crack.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
We have 21 more touchdowns this year than Alabama.
Yeah, they have a very good defense. So don't get this twisted. Like it's going to be a challenge to score on every fucking drive. Like this will be the best defense we go against. So they're going to be ready. They're well coached. There's going to be drives where we stall out. We just have to make sure we're on our fucking A game. And I think Jaden Daniels is going to walk into the stadium and drop his nutsack on it. I really do. I think he is going to absolutely have a Heisman breakout game, even though he's had plenty already. I think America is finally going to have to like swallow the Jaden pill and say, you know what? Yeah, this dude is the guy. We're going to have to start fucking talking about it. And this is going to be the game it's going to happen because he is the fucking, like, he is spreading this ball out so perfectly. And guess what, dude? If they want to start locking some people up down the field, let this man burn, man. Like, he will burn you up and down the field with his legs, and he will have his Heisman moments. I absolutely think that Diggs is going to fucking play an awesome role, getting those hard yards. You remember whenever in 2019, you go back and like we saw a version of Clyde that we hadn't seen before. It was like we saw those types of plays like once a game from him, but against Alabama, it was like his full arsenal of talent and potential was on every single drive, every carry. I don't think
anyone has ever broken more tackles in a game than Clyde did in that Bama game.
All very important, all on the goal line, all just like no give up. That's the type of energy that this team is going to have to play with. And if they do, we have the talented players that are going to be able to make enough plays against this Alabama team to come out with a victory. I think Diggs, like I said, is going to have a great game. This offensive line is going to have to play some bully ball, and I can't wait to see it happen. Emory Jones is back, fully healthy. We're ready to roll with him, but we have now an experienced number 6 behind that 5 offensive line with big Lance Hurd that's ready to roll if they need a break. So offensively, dude, I think we know what we're going to have to do. We know how to do it. I think Mason Taylor is another unsung guy that we know we relied heavily on last year, kind of out of necessity. Now that this is an expanded playbook and running on full systems go, you could actually see him sneak around and be the forgotten man that could make some big plays reminiscent of last season too.
It just reminded me of it. I was watching Moscona interview Peter Burns, and Moscona hit Burns with a big and it just it cracked me up, Grant. I immediately thought of you. It was a good one. The offense is just it's pick your poison, man. Here's what we're gonna do. Do you want to stop the run? Do you want to stop Malik Neighbors? Do you want to stop? Pick your poison, and we will just beat you all day. Like I agree. I think Alabama has a really good defense. I think they're going to be able to probably look better than most of the defensively. That's Lady Moscona. I don't know. I think Jaden is a certified dude. He thinks he's the best quarterback in America, the best player on the field. I think we're going to get an all-time Jaden game, whether it's with his legs or throwing the ball. It's just, do we get into the situation that we did against Ole Miss? If not, like Bama has to score, and then LSU is going to put up their numbers. Like Bama has to go out there and get it done. I'm really
and they will.
excited.
Listen, Bama's going to get scores. That's the thing, is this defense has to step up and stop the bleeding and not allow what happened against Florida State to happen against Alabama, where the minute they felt like it was starting to crack, it's like, all right, they rolled over and they're like, fuck it, like we lost, right? It's like, dude, you have to fight to the very last second because you know what your offense can do. This Alabama offense will put up points, but they're not consistent. They don't have like a consistent system of like, damn, every time they touch the ball, like we have to watch out for all these different things. Like, no, you get pressure on Jalen Milroe. He holds on to the ball too long, right? He's one of the most sacked individuals in the country.
He's honestly not like begging to run either. It's not like this dude is taking off.
But if you give him those gaps, he can absolutely turn into the best running back that you've ever faced. If you give enough cushion to Burton and Isaiah Bonds, they will tear you apart. But they're not tearing you apart with like rhythmic drives and plays. It's big plays, right? And if that's all they're able to do, you have a chance to win the game if your offense is consistently playing at a high level within a system, which we have been. So I do think this matchup favors LSU. Like that, that's that with how insufficient Alabama's offense is, it should favor LSU. Now, you're on the road against fucking Alabama and those refs. And I hate being that guy, right? I make fun of everybody in the world when they complain about, factors out of their control, but I will be that person against Alabama every year because it's so fucking real. It's the most real shit I've ever seen. Anyway, you're on the road. You have the bias of the refs. You have the energy of that stadium, a very physical football team. This is not the Alabama that played South Florida, right? Like Nick Saban was able to get in their ass and they're playing physical ball again. You go watch any of their games recently, they're fucking hitting the ball carriers. They're run 11 hats to the football. Offensively, though, their O-line is shitty, right? And this creates a perfect opportunity. I wish we had our leader of this team, Mekhi Wingo, available. That kind of threw me through a loop when we found out he was out for the season. But you have the emergence of Jefferson, and you need Mason Smith to be a fucking dude. You need him to come out and be like, you know what? I don't give a damn if Wingo's not here. I don't give a shit what, this offense is or who's in front of me. This is Mason Smith, 5-star, all hype. Wingo came in
to be that guy.
Wingo came in with the Mel Kiper draft board, higher than me. Everybody's been saying I'm second rate or I'm overrated now. Time to be the fucking dude, man. You got a shitty Alabama offensive line. Your partner is out. It's time for you to step up. And I think if we can get Mason Smith to ball out in that interior and force that pressure to expand outside and let the skill guys like Perkins and let a blitzing safety like Sam's, let them clean up that mess that you create in the inside and wreak some havoc. Get them out of their rhythm and let our offense eat, and we should come away the victor.
Oh man, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this game. I agree. And look,
It's gonna be a great day.
you have to take into account too. It's like this is
You have to take into account this
Oh,
guy too.
Gary, you're right. I forgot about Gary.
Enjoy. This is our last ride with old Gary D.
Yeah.
I wish it was Vern though. You
Good
know, I
riddance.
wish we.
Dude,
I wish
they
we had,
should they should let Vern call this game
they should
from
let him.
the
They should let him be
16
on the
hour at
sideline.
Augusta.
I really want any play that we make, especially on defense, if it's a turnover, if it's a sack, anything, our entire team needs to fucking do a hands up, don't shoot. Like that needs to be every single, all 11 streaking down the sideline with their hands
No
up.
helmets,
and
no
make
helmet, better touch helmets.
mockery of this shit.
You have to take into account too. It's like Bama will look for that little bit of revenge. You know, they don't lose back to back too often. So we're gonna get Bama's best shot. I just think LSU's best shot is better, and we need the guy that's shown up for 95% of this season in Jaden Daniels to show up just like he has that 95. Like throw out the first half in Arkansas, and that dude wins this game every time.
So today I went for a jog, and typically I do some daydreaming on the jogs. The best jogs are always like Bama week or like
no headphones
right before the season. Yeah, no headphones, just fucking psychotic silence, and you're plotting along.
You're doing an outline of your manifesto is what you're doing.
Yeah, and you got images, you got plots, you got fucking different types of variables. But one of the most vivid images that I saw today was Brian Kelly. His iconic like "Don't back down" when we played Florida, and he's like "Don't back down," and then the Cheez-Its when he picked up the Cheez-It against Purdue. It's like he does these little symbolic deals. Well, the Bama symbol is going to be him after we fucking run up the score, looking up the press box at Tommy Rees and just giving him the fucking bird, dude. Just looking right at him and giving him the fucking bird. And it's going to be a story for ages. Just like, you remember that time, that image? It's like, what was he doing? He's flicking off Tommy Rees.
And then the memes that come of it of Hugh Freeze like up in the press box giving the thumbs up to Brian Kelly throwing up the bird. That would be a good one.
Then I almost tripped into some pedestrians.
Yeah, did you know Tommy Rees played for Brian Kelly?
For years. Yeah.
I truly despise how we have to like ask questions. Speaking of asking questions, BK was getting a little chippy in the Monday press conference.
Which I've watched him. I'm trying to remember which one was Monday.
He gave multiple, as I said.
Yeah, yeah.
And then people are like, "Excuse me, Brian, I know you said Denver Harris is out. Does that mean is there any way he would be available by the time Saturday?" He's like, "No, motherfucker. As I stated previously."
Yeah.
It just
I wish he would come out and just be like, "Hey, everybody, listen up. Listen up. You remember how I talked about Kayshawn last season with you people? That's what y'all are doing to me with Denver. Just to give you a heads up. He's got a ways to go. So quit asking."
He would obviously get killed, and I don't think he should, but it would be very funny for him to just cards out on the table one, like, post game, someone's like, tough loss, coach. Anyway, you think Denver Harris could have helped? And he just like, you know what? This is what this motherfucker did. He starts bullet pointing everything.
He lit my office on fire, you assholes. Do you want me to play him?
Up in my chair.
Yeah, it would be something crazy like that. I wish. I hope it is. Probably not. But let's talk about some of those young DBs. That is the big storyline of the week, right? Everybody's kind of panicking. Zy Alexander's out. All of the transfers are not, able to play. They're not active. And so you've got Ashton Stamps. Is it Stamps or Stamps? I always get that. Stamps. Ashton Stamps. You've what?
Stamps Club.
Okay.
Sam's. It's SAMP. Samps.
I thought it was okay.
Ashton
He's got the jersey on.
Really? Stamps. Okay. I thought it was Stamps.
Like sample.
Okay.
It's with a T though. There's a T.
Ashton Stamps from Rummel, a guy that they were super high on all fall. Like all we heard about was Ashton Stamps being the dude, like all fall camp, and then all of a sudden Chestnut became like this great dude. What, you got the pronunciation for me? Am I doing it wrong? What is it?
No, it's Stamps. Stamps.
Stamps.
Yeah,
Samsonite.
Samsonite. That's it.
Gotcha. Anyway,
It started
Jeremiah.
with us, though.
Yeah. And then you got Jeremiah. You got Jeremiah Hugs, who's on the other side. Hughes. Hughes, yeah.
Hugs.
Jeremiah Hughes, 29. So no, all right,
Hug Hees.
You got Jeremiah Hughes, Ashton Stamps, and Javian Toviano. Is going to be kind of like your three guys there that are talked about a lot. Apparently, LaTerrence Welsh is a bag of dicks. Like this guy, what do we do? Like, how is he that bad?
I don't know. It worries me though that every time BK mentions, like, he named the corners multiple times in the last couple days, and he'll name Hughes, he'll name Stamps, and then he'll be like, "Oh yeah, and of course, of course, Toviano." And I'm like,
Yeah.
you fucker! Like,
Yeah.
is he that bad? Is he that bad that you can't even remember the third one?
Yeah. Well, and then Toviano all spring was like early enrollee. He's a dude. We're rotating him around. And then even 2 months ago for fall camp, he talked about Toviano having rotation at the nickel position, and he's going to come along when his time's right, but like we don't want to unleash him just yet. It's like now you have to. I would love, and listen, we're peak delusion right now. Just so you know, it's Wednesday.
We're November 1st.
Yeah, peak delusion at this point, and this is like a breaking point of like where that delusion, if we win, could catapult you into like a psychotic, like this is the number one team in the nation. Fuck off, dude. Like
neutral. Then you get into the neutral. Plan. We can go into Saban's playbook of like, yeah, we did lose a couple games, but Vegas favors us against all these motherfuckers.
Best team. But if you lose, like this delusion turns into the worst depression, and you're just like, I don't give a rat's ass about what we do against Florida. Like that's going to be so hard to watch. Anyway, but ultimate delusion, peak delusion, which sometimes is true, right? Sometimes it can be reality, is that maybe this is part of the plan, dude. This was part of the fucking plan the whole time. He was trying to listen. He talked up Toviano. He had him rotating in. Ashton Stamps was balling out. And it was like, you know what? These kids have to be hungry enough. And you know what? We thought Denver was going to be the hungry one. I thought Deuce was going to be the hungry one, but they can't get their fucking head out of their ass. So guess what? It's time for Ashton, and it's time for Jeremiah, and it's time for Javion to all of a sudden come out of their shell and light the world on fire. And Kelly's going to stand up there and be like, listen, I told you guys, like, these are elite players. They just had to wait their turn, wait their time.
You know how funny Tiger droppings would be?
That's insane though, because I got hurt, but yeah.
If these corners like came out and were just nasty, can you imagine Tiger droppings like fire Matt House? We won. Fuck these guys.
They should have been playing against Ole Miss. We should be undefeated.
Yes. I did find it interesting. Another Brian Kelly press conference tidbit where he started talking about Omar Spates and being like a real like leader and calming factor out there. And he's like, I love Lit Weeks too. And I see everyone asking. I'm just like,
I didn't see that.
I need to know. I need to know if Brian Kelly's just scrolling TD at his desk, or if Brian Kelly has a guy, like a Pulse of the Nation guy, because I will pay.
I think it's his daughter.
I will pay to be fucking varies to Brian Kelly being like, they really don't like Colin Hurley. You know, like I just.
Well, that's too fucking bad, Jennifer.
The team hates Omar Spates.
You got to play Weeks, Dad. No, but he was on Feinbaum. And the background, his laptop was open, and it looked like Tiger droppings to me.
I listened to that interview. I don't remember looking at his computer.
It looked like Tiger droppings to me. There was a I think there was a picture on Tiger Droppings that was like Kelly with his weekly press conference. It was like an image of it. And I was like, wait a minute, is he fucking scrolling?
I've looked at this for way too long in my life.
You know, the patterns obviously like automatically fucking hit the brain. I'm just like, whoa, is that a thread?
This one?
Yeah. You see that line?
I don't know. I think we're in the clear. I don't think.
Dude, that's kind of that's a T. You're not saying that kind of looks like it?
No, I
mean, I am very blind, but like.
But when does Tiger Droppings have a bar across the middle?
He was scrolling.
Is that like a highlight? I don't scrolling. What do you mean scrolling? His mouse is on the table.
The bar is at the top, but maybe, I don't know, maybe all the ads were piled up top and it pushed it down. There's the bar. There's the bar. Now go back.
I poked myself in the eye today.
Now go back.
That's as far back as I can go.
I'm talking about the other image.
Oh.
We can't go any further. We're already pulled over. We can't pull over any farther.
You see the bar?
Yeah. Honestly, it's identical. It really is. I think he definitely was.
Probably not. I'm just saying, like, that's a valid, like, oh, fuck. Anyway, let's get back to the
Wait,
tell us
real quick. While we're a little bit off topic, I just got a text from my sister-in-law. Hey, do y'all still make pot of gold t-shirts?
I don't know. Do we?
For all we know, dude, you've been slanging the shit out of
we
them.
don't. Well, we don't make them. Someone else makes them. So if anyone's interested, there is still a store. There's still a pot of gold bonfire store. For anyone.
Do we have the plug for that?
Thanks for that breaking news and that glowing endorsement, Grant. We said no ad. We said no more ads this episode, but geez,
we haven't made any new shirts, but there's still shirts on there.
Yeah, ever since we got the cease and desist from University of Alabama, it kind of hurt
so
me.
Funny.
And from the NCAA or the Heisman Committee.
That was so great for my wife to walk in and be like, "You got a letter from the University of Alabama," and I'm like, I knew they'd see my talent eventually. Like, obviously, they're in, boy.
They're like, you're using. One of them was like, you're using a player's image and likeness. I was like, no, it's a cartoon. It's not him.
No, they trademarked Roll Tide, and we were
in that one
impeachment of that. But
it's like, do we need a lawyer? No, just call who is our sponsor with the dick pills?
Vitality Medical Solutions.
Yes, you were like, just call Vitality.
I poked myself in the eye today, and I immediately thought of it being like the worst case scenario in life to blind yourself right before the Alabama game. And then I realized,
have to hear Gary the whole time and just kind of be like, is this true?
Been waiting for this for forever, and it's just like, nah, then I'm just gonna be like listening to the game. And
Did you really? Was it that hard of a hit that you felt like you could have gone blind?
No, it was a glancing blow, and I was just like, good God, we got to protect my eyes here. Like, we can't be going blind before the Bama game. And then I realized, like, I probably should have thought about, like, my family and, like,
you probably should go blind before tomorrow.
But I immediately was just like, I can't go blind until Sunday. Like, we can't be doing that.
Just get us to Sunday. Cooking a good gumbo this weekend.
Wearing the dilation sunglasses until Saturday night.
Back off. Who do you think's the DB that breaks out?
I mean, from what I'm talking about in the press conference, I have very little faith that it's Toviano. Like, if we want to like look at rankings and like, you know, trust the process, he would probably be the guy. But considering BK, I worry, you know, kind of worried Stamps hasn't been playing on injured. It's like, we need you to be able to go 80 plays here tonight, buddy.
You also, I don't know. You got Sage locking down one of the corner spots. Locking down is a very loose term, but like
it's a Colin Cowherd lock of the week type of thing.
It's like the little lock that came with your suitcase. Like, you could probably be
that's Sage Ryan.
Yeah. I honestly believe that they're all gonna play average. Like, I think pick your poison, 1, 2, 3 of them, they're gonna get beat. Like, you're gonna see Burton on this bomb route into the end zone. You're gonna see Bond catch one. You just need to, like, let them catch the ball in front of you and make tackles more often than not. Like, if LSU's defense can make Alabama score on 12-play drives, 14-play drives, and grind them out, then it's like, good on you. Like, just don't let them go 2 plays touchdown all the time.
Maybe someone in the chat can help me out with this, or maybe Grant, you can look it up. But
not fuck me, right?
Well, I mean, if you want to be the intern,
maybe literally anyone but Brett could answer this question.
What do you need?
Maybe you could answer this. But the 2018 season, we played UCF at the bowl game, and we had like no DBs left, right? And we flipped like a receiver to DB, and it was a shit show. And I can't remember the receiver's name. I just wanted someone to throw it out there to me. But like these
Brett,
dudes,
you would have no idea who that was.
No, but it did remind me. There's a lot of disrespect for Aristotle Abraham, huh?
A lot of disrespect.
Yeah, he's not getting any play.
Like,
no reps, my friend.
You know, God, I wish Brian Kelly would be like, and obviously Aristotle Abraham.
Manny Netherly.
We had Manny Netherly flipping to DB at one point. So like these guys, listen, look, I've got a bootlegger's jacket on. These guys are battle tested. Like these are battle boys. You got Tovey, Hughes, Stamps. You got Sage Ryan back there. I mean, listen, they haven't been tested. They haven't played. Sage has played a lot, but like, let the boys eat. Like, if their first fucking test is Jalen Milroe and Burton and Isaiah Bond and that whole, clash of characters, it's not as if they're going in the fourth quarter with a blowout and they're trying to like keep up. Like they're playing start to finish. So they're going to have to fucking figure it out on the fly. And these kids are good enough athletes that they're going to make some plays. Like they're not going to get fucking killed every single play. They're going to step up and make some plays. Now, are we going to have to worry about them playing a little overly aggressive to keep up with elite receivers? And the refs are going to be like, no, he touched his ass cheek. Like that's going to fucking kill me. I'm going to want to get in that ref's ear and be like, dude, we're trying here, pal. Like give him a little, like let the boys play.
Let the boys play. Absolutely. Let the boys play.
Because they're going to be hitting, dude. They're going to be smothering. But we'll see. It's going to be zone cut. We play zone. So it's like if they can keep it in front of you, man, bend but don't break. Forcing the field goals. Make them just, resort to those big plays. Guys, it's going to happen. We're going to give up bombs. This is not over till the fat lady sings. Our offense has proven over and over again. Hugh G, Manny Netherly, he got it.
he took a hiatus to go search for us. That's what happened. He's on delay. He didn't get in immediately. He's a few minutes behind the pod.
He paused it so he could find
it. Exactly. I don't know. I'm
score predicts.
I think LSU scores.
What's the line? -3.5.
3.5. Bama -3-ish.
Down to 3.
What's the over and under?
60.5.
I was like 5 minutes behind. I knew you wouldn't have done that. I don't know. I think LSU wins 45-42. 45-38 if we're lucky.
Dude, so you're crushing that over.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's
the only thing the over under is what concerns me, but I feel like that's historical.
We can pat Bam on the ass and say how great their defense is. Like their defense is good. It's not an elite brick wall of a defense. Like, oh God, every inch is earned against this defense. Like, I just think we have the best offense in the country. I think LSU has an offense that is really hard to completely shut down. You can probably contain it. You can dictate, how you want to get beat. And I think Jaden Daniels has proven that, whether it be handing the ball off, using his own legs, making the proper reads, throwing it to the right receiver, like we're going to be able to move the ball and score points. Protect the ball. Don't do any stupid turnovers. Maybe get one fall your way, be positive in the turnover battle. But I honestly believe LSU is the better team that's walking into that stadium. I think that they have a great chance of winning and losing. I just think if you played this game 10 times, I think LSU wins 7 of them. throwing it at Bama. It's like it sounds really stupid to say. We've won like twice in 20 years at Bama, but I just think for the first time outside of 2019 in a long time, I'm more confident in our team than Bama's team starting the game.
Yeah, I like 35-31. I want to side with the 40. Like, I feel like no one can stop us from scoring 40 points right now, but there's just something about that over-under that's got me a little sneaky there. And this is more of me trying to get this right than what I think is actually going to happen. What I think is actually going to happen is we're going to come out there and fucking drop our balls on them, and it's going to be like 42-27, something like that.
But you have to do what Tennessee couldn't. Like when you have the ball, getting ready to score to go up 17, go up 20. Like you can't just kick a field goal. You have to be able to like put your foot on their throat and make it to where they can't come back. Like make them quit.
You have to have a Burrow to Clyde in the end zone before halftime and fucking wave goodbye. Like make them, because listen, Bama's a second half team. We know that. They've been very good in the second half. And so every opportunity you have in the first half to score early and often, you have to score.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to score. Every time you're on that side of the field, you have to get points. You have to get touchdowns. But even then, if you had opportunity for field goals, I just rack up points because they're not going to be scoring touchdowns after touchdown after touchdown. You got to get points every time.
I'm going 38-27.
Tigers?
Yes, Tigers.
Okay.
We can obviously stay on LSU Bama. I'm fine to talk about that, but I did see that Oklahoma at Oklahoma State is at 2:30, and that's an absolute disgrace. Like if the last Bedlam at Oklahoma State needs to be played at night. That is like the best night stadium around outside of LSU. It's disgusting.
Let's get into the weekend. This slate is beautiful.
It does suck though because I don't care about this fucking slate. Like
dude, all day though. We have a night
I know, but like the whole I've talked about this many times. It's like you sit around all day laughing at teams that are like getting the shit kicked out of them and like getting blown out and like little like Simpson Nelson gif. And then all of a sudden your team kicks off at 7 and you're just like, fuck me. I'm going to have to see Brian Kelly grinding on Danny Lewis. Walker Howard's going to be all over my timeline tonight. Like, fuck.
Yeah, it's like being in the dugout all day and you're just like fucking eat sunflower seeds, buying Gatorades from mom. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, you're in the hole, right? Like 2:30, like you're in the hole.
Pinch hitter.
Yeah. And then you're on deck and it's just like, all right, fuck, it's my turn. I got to go. But let's go through these. Actually,
I wanted ranch sunflower seeds.
Yeah, go back.
Didn't have any ring pops.
Glacier freeze. It's supposed to be cold.
I fucking hate purple Gatorade.
Before we move into this week's slate, let's go back and let's go over our wins and losses from our picks. Can we do that?
Yeah, we know we can trust Grant here.
Yeah, no, I already have it all tallied out.
Thank you.
So last week, first game we had was let me get the actual scores up. Something's wrong. I can't share my screen right now. It's so weird. Are y'all able to share?
I haven't tried. I don't
click the share screen button. Does it let you?
I think so. We don't need to see it. Grant.
You don't want to know what's on.
No, I know. But I was going to share the weekend schedule.
Can we just go over it? Like, can we just talk about it?
Just give the goddamn number.
We can. I was just wondering if y'all were having the same problem.
We're not trying to share anything.
No, I know you're not. I was going to share this weekend's slate on the screen so we could.
I saw it. We saw it.
I know, but now it won't let me share again. That's what I was trying to say.
Well, anyway. Are you guys having trouble with Microsoft Word or?
Okay, so we had Oklahoma, Kansas was the first game. Kansas won 38-33. So
what a game! What a game!
Yeah,
we had me and Mike each had Oklahoma. Mike's like, no, I had Kansas. Brett had Kansas.
I had OU until Grant picked OU, and I switched to Kansas. So that's a fraud of a victory, but I will take it.
The other game was the next
game. By the way, huge fantasy football victory for me, dude.
Oh yeah,
2 wins, 2 wins on the season.
Back on board.
You can't get 3 until you get 2, Mike.
That's right.
The next game was Georgia at Florida. Georgia won 43-20. The spread in that was Georgia 14.5. Mike, you had Florida.
I did not have Florida.
Yes.
I did not have Florida.
You had Florida. I don't change this.
The whole Georgia game, I was like, this is easy.
It happens. It happens. You get in a cloud on the podcast, and then Saturday morning comes, and you've watched Pat McAfee fucking like with a belt buckle on for 2.5 hours, and you get a little like drunk and loopy, and you're like, I definitely fucking picked Georgia in this game.
Like I had him in my pick'ems. Why would I go against what I have? And
I don't know. Maybe that's when we have to fact check.
A tradition unlike any other.
I'm gonna have to.
I knew I had Georgia.
I had Georgia 14, right? It was like 14.5.
And you picked Florida, and me and Brett picked Georgia.
I hand up on that.
Too many people were like, I love Florida here, and it's like,
no, that was an easy one.
Dude, we're gonna go find it. We're gonna go find it. The next game was Oregon at Utah. It was Oregon -6.5. We all picked Oregon. And
you better fucking say Oregon. Bitch.
We all had Oregon, and they won pretty handedly.
Oregon's a good fucking team.
They're pretty good. Next game was Duke at Louisville. We all had Louisville.
Yep.
-4.5. Louisville destroyed Duke. And then the last game,
Duke's a fraud.
For those keeping track, I'm 3-1 on the week. Brett,
for those keeping track, yeah, thank you.
But the last game was Tennessee at Kentucky. Brett and Mike each had Kentucky.
Let's go.
-3.5. Tennessee covered. So
I keep trying to tell the people the board has never been clear in my
Mike,
eyes.
you were 2-3, Mike.
No, I
had Georgia.
No, you had Kentucky. They didn't cover.
You had Oklahoma.
You had Oklahoma that didn't cover.
And you
had Georgia. You had Florida that didn't cover.
I had 2 losses.
So
I had 2 losses. I had Tennessee. I think I had Tennessee.
I just got a text from my dad. I'm going to the Ducks Unlimited banquet tomorrow night.
Nice.
Breaking news. Already
he said, wear some jeans and a shirt that matches for Ducks Unlimited.
Oh, you're going?
Yeah, he said, you're coming with me to Ducks Unlimited banquet tomorrow night. He just called and then he texted me.
Can we take a complete timeout and discuss what happened after the podcast last week?
What happened?
With the smartest guy Grant's ever fucking met.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have to like rehash it.
The new Speaker of the House is the smartest person in the world.
So Grant's like, hey guys, did you hear this? Did you hear about this? The Speaker of the House, LSU grad. I was like, let's calm it down before we like get excited about that, because I've seen it too many times where everyone's like, that's our guy, and then the guy turns into like a pedophile or something. You're like, we didn't really like him that much. So I was playing that bit out, and Grant's like, no, my cousin. He texted me.
I remember now.
Top 3 smartest guys he's ever met. Immediately, alarm bells go off for both Mike and I. Like, this motherfucker. Hold on.
Have to do with anything.
And we start pressing him hard. And he's like, well, no, he said top 3 politicians. I'm like, that's even fishier. And we finally drill down to the ultimate. We look up the text, and the text said, smart guy.
Smart guy. Smart guy. We went from this is, and by the way, Ryan may listen to this. So he calls out Ryan Boryak, his brother-in-law, who is a rep, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. And so he's a state rep. So obviously he gets plugged early and often by Grant with any type of political discussions, which is great. It's a really good like resource to have. Ryan tells us everything. I'm just kidding. I don't want to fuck with them. But you know, being able to say that you know this guy and put your faith in, like Grant was very adamant on convincing us that like this is a good fucking dude. Like this is a big win for us. And like we're kind of just like, I don't know, you know, like let's look into his past. Ryan said this is the top 3 most intelligent person he's ever met. Top 3 most intelligent person. So my first question is like, who are these other 2 people?
We got to get 1 and 2. Like we have to get a top 5. If you're gonna give an arbitrary number 3 or he's a 7th smarter, like we're gonna have to have the full list.
Yeah, and then he, like Brett said, he backtracks a little bit and says like, no, he said he's one of the top smartest guys he's ever met, not the top 3, but just like one of them. And then we make him pull out the text. The text said "smart guy."
It made me feel like Barstool Pick'em, where like we immediately knew Rico was full of shit, and like we just kept our thumb on him, and he ended up just being like he actually said the dude was an asshole. I don't know why I said that, guys. Like it
was definitely a moment where we should have had it recorded and thrown it on us like
I'm like downstairs eating a snack, whatever I'm munching on, just giggling, thinking about Grant, just trying to pull the wool over our eyes, and we had nothing. We were not fucking having
top 3,
it.
huh? That's exactly what he said. Who's the bottom 3? Who are the most unintelligent people I know? I'm gonna rank that shit.
Let's move on. Let's move on to this week. Actually, huge game in the Big 12. Kansas State at Texas, 11 a.m. Little big noon kickoff for the boys.
Dude, I am like all about chaos this weekend. Like I'm all over the upsets
until nightfall.
Yeah,
I guess we would be considered the upset. I guess we would be considered
we're
the
in
chaos
that number.
Of that. Yeah, that's true.
Number. We lost Grant.
That's all right. We'll get him back. I think we'll do just fine. Another, A&M at Ole Miss, probably not going to be as good a game as you could maybe make up at this point in time, but that's another game at 11 a.m. that's definitely in the quad box.
Big implications.
Huge implications. Some would say the biggest. Notre Dame at Clemson, also in the 11 a.m. block, which like Clemson is who they is, but obviously another game that you gotta hope that you gotta hope YouTube TV just hooks us up with like the perfect quad box, because it's like it's right there in front of us. Ohio State Rutgers is whatever, but
I don't know, Bob. Rutgers is what they had like 2 or 3 losses.
Well, I was talking about in the battle for they're actually 6-2 in the battle for the 4th box of the quad box. Like I think they get it by default. Tennessee, UConn, no one cares about.
Mizzou, Georgia.
Yeah, 2:30 though.
Oh, my bad. We're still at 11. Oh, no, hold up. We got the schedule. So yeah, that is So those are the heavy hitters early. Afternoon, like you said, Bedlam's in the afternoon. We got 2:30. Oklahoma State. That's got Okie State written all over it.
Oh my God, does it? The problem I have with it is like now everyone's down on OU, and Oklahoma State's a team that you've watched like 4 minutes of, but you see they're on a little heater. We like Gundy's mullet. And we're like, don't be surprised if Oklahoma State, and then they just get waxed. But I agree with you. It feels like if this game was at night, like sign me up for Oklahoma State. But kind of a shame it's at 2:30. But Mizzou, good for us. We get to watch it.
Mizzou at Georgia. A lot of hype around Mizzou right now. A lot of momentum. At Georgia sucks. Like that's tough. But this is Georgia's like true first test. This is going to be the first time we can see like, okay, can Georgia's defense really put a lid on Missouri's offense? Let's see. Right. And I think this is their first battle. I think this is going to be a close game.
This could be.
It feels like a game Missouri can cover, but probably not win.
I mean, let's imagine a day where chaos ensues tomorrow, and we win, and Missouri wins.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
What would
Kansas
that look
State
like?
Wins, and USC wins.
Well, no, I'm just saying, just if it was those two, just for SEC, for SEC implications, that would be huge for us.
Yeah, and I mean, shit. At that
Good
point,
for
that puts
Missouri.
That
Missouri
opens the
that puts Missouri in the driver's seat in the East. At that
right,
point,
and so that puts us in a better
Yeah.
driver's seat path to a playoff.
Yeah,
For our
because
own destiny.
maybe.
because our
I mean,
wins, our opponent, like our
A record.
cross
you can.
conference opponent's record, is going to help weight us in those decisions
Yeah.
by
Yeah, but
having
like,
Missouri be good, right?
Does that also keep us
well,
out, SEC out entirely if it's not Georgia?
I mean, I think you can make the argument for it, but like, my guess is that if you're an LSU fan, you would prefer the last image in the voter's mind of you beating a for sure playoff team, number 1, number 3 ranked Georgia.
True.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, they're arguing, once again, we're
That's where the
asking a
big
bunch of
No, the whole
65-year-old ADs to fucking decide this. Like, who knows?
the whole like, oh, if LSU wins out, like they knock an SEC chance of the playoffs out the window. Like that's bullshit.
It
That's bullshit.
it's
No.
extremely hard for me to believe that they will leave the SEC out.
Yeah, what are they gonna do? Put a one-loss Ohio State that
Can't.
didn't
They
that
probably
didn't
just
win the
got
conference?
shit
That
pumped
just
by
got beat?
Michigan.
Yeah.
I don't think that our commissioner, our Sankey would let that happen. You know what I mean? Like I think the powers that be would be like, fuck. We have to put the SEC champion in, no matter
Someone
how many
get
losses.
Barry Alvarez on the horn. We got to get in his ear.
I
I
want
think
it to
I think
happen.
enough
I
shit's
want to
gonna
see it
happen
happen.
elsewhere. Enough shit's there's not enough elite teams. Like these teams are all gonna beat each other, and we're about to
Yeah.
start seeing that this weekend. Anyway, moving forward,
I agree.
Penn State at Maryland, blah. Florida State at Pittsburgh, blah. Florida State's gonna just walk into the fucking playoffs. Anything else?
I could see them losing one of the Florida games,
James
like the
Madison at Georgia State.
Miami or
That's a
Florida
big,
game.
You've
big deal
been
for
you've
us.
been dying on that hill all season. Florida State's going to lose games this season. That's what you're doing, and you've stuck to it. And I commend you for that.
Florida State will lose a game.
It just doesn't look, man. Could they go undefeated? Sure. I just look at them and it doesn't scream like dominant, undefeated. We're the
I think they're the number
dogs.
one team.
I think Michigan's the number 1 team. I don't mind ranking Florida in the top 3 or 4. Like I think they are good,
Florida State.
but Florida State, yeah. For Florida, Graham
Michigan
Mertz
State.
next year. Next year's
I have
Florida's year.
no
baby.
problem putting Graham Mertz in the top 3.
Dude, wouldn't blink an eye, bat an eye.
I think 1, 2. I think 1 and 2 is Florida State, Michigan.
Miami's just a team that kind of has the athletes that like would be able to keep up with Florida State in a game. It's like, oh, then Kentucky may lose again before then, but it just feels like a game that Miami could play well in.
Moving into the evening slate, Washington at USC, huge game. Huge.
I wish I could watch this at 2:30. Like if this was granted, once again, I like watching OU Oklahoma State before the Bama game, but like that game should be at night. And if you like swap those, I think it would be a really like perfect slate. Ideally,
I
just
can
have
check
all of
in.
them.
I want to check into Bedlam. I don't want to focus Bedlam, where I could focus Washington USC. I don't want to just check in on that.
It's one of those games that the ticker is just would be going crazy of like score update, and you're like, fucking at it again. It's Bedlam, but you don't really want to lock in on Bedlam.
Do you go quad box for the LSU games?
So no, what I normally do is I will go into the quad box and then just click LSU, and then like when LSU's in commercial, I'll hit back just to kind of quad box, get a pulse of the nation. But no,
it loads quicker that way.
Yeah, and I've tried to do like the iPad for a game, or like second screen it, and it's like for LSU, I just kind of need it to like the
quad's
TV
always
to just only be LSU.
The quad's always faster than the single version, it seems like, too.
When you keep it there and just go into it from the quad. Yeah.
No, I mean, like when I've had 2 TVs up, I have like quad on one side and then
you're
LSU
talking
game.
about the actual stream itself.
Yeah, the stream's like a 30 seconds ahead, or 10, 15 seconds.
It's not 30 seconds. This is a top 3 scenario all over again.
It is
30 seconds. LSU at Alabama, obviously the game of the night for us.
Last
6:45
CBS. Last time you're gonna get to watch an LSU Bama game on CBS, a
Let's go out with
new
a
regime.
bang. Let's go out with a bang, huh?
And we didn't really discuss this when we were talking about it, but like I've been thinking a lot about, and I think you kind of touched on it, but like this is fairly or not like such a massive legacy game for Brian Kelly at this point. It's like if you lose this game, then it's like, oh, haha, great offense can't, finish third in the West, like whatever. But you win this game, it's like you're 2-0 against Saban. You possibly like buried this dude and like ushered him out. Like, okay, Grandpa, I remember when you used to win national championships.
Right.
And it's like, oh, hey, this team is going to be dangerous. This team's going to be here forever. Or we're just going to get made fun of on Twitter all night and laughed at. And it's like, that would suck. And it'd be like, we think Brian Kelly's the guy. But you go in this game, it's all balls in.
Oh, balls in 100%. And like he's going to build the narrative. The narrative's going to be built that he's a November coach. He's the end of the season type of guy. Like don't pay attention to Brian Kelly's LSU teams until are you fact checking me right now? Are you
he's trying to see if you bet on Georgia or Florida.
Yeah, he's fact checking. But they're gonna, don't count on LSU in the beginning of the year. Brian Kelly's gonna get these guys rolling at the end. Trust the system, blah blah blah. If you lose this game, it's like, all right, well, fucking strike two.
Also, huge shout out to us. We learned the hard way in 2019. We were like screaming from the rooftops how awesome Joe Brady is, and we have an absolutely like awesome quarterback coach that we don't even like say his name out loud. Like they don't.
We don't talk about Denbrock either.
Well, yeah, I mean, Denbrock's like a fossil, though. We're not. He's staying with us, is what I'm saying. But like, Joe Sloan would be like USC's next head coach or something if we were touting him like we did with Joe Brady. He'd be taking the Clemson job in a month.
He will if we sign Bryce Underwood.
But just instead, we're just like, no, I don't even know who that guy is. What are you talking about? Like, there hasn't been one question in like 2 months about him when like they're like Joe Brady's the GOAT, right, Ed? Like that was every press conference. So like kudos to us for like keeping that on the serious down low for as long as possible.
Ed loved fucking praising him too. He's like, I found that motherfucker.
He was with Pete Carmichael.
Yeah, I got him. All right, let's pick some games.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm just gonna gut every pick we call right here. As long as LSU wins, I can't think about anything else.
The options were Kansas State, Texas, A&M at Ole Miss, Notre Dame at Clemson, Missouri at Georgia, Oklahoma at Oklahoma State, and Washington at USC. That's 6 games. We can do those 6 or
Mike normally likes 5. No, I think
I think those are the ones that ring a bell.
No, those are the good ones. We'll pick those. One of those I don't like though.
Which one?
What was the second one you said?
Ole Miss, Texas
A&M at Ole Miss is a weird. It's Ole Miss -3.
No, the next one then.
Notre Dame at Clemson, but it's Notre Dame -3.
I like that one. What's the next one?
Missouri, Georgia, and then Bedlam, and then
Washington at USC.
What was the first one?
Kansas State at Texas.
Yeah, let's
Texas
just pick
-4.
They're all good.
They're all good.
What was your first alternate?
It was the Air Force.
All
right, rip through it. K-State at Texas.
K-State at Texas. Texas -4.
Let me unmute my mic here. Okay, I'm back. K-State at Texas. Texas -4.
K-State all day, baby.
See, I feel like everyone wants to take K-State in this game. I feel like everyone wants to take
you know what? I'm just going to start audio recording.
I'm writing this one down. I'm writing this one down. K-State.
What do you want? I'll throw it to you, Grant, because if you take K-State, I'm 1,000% taking Texas.
I'm taking Texas.
Fuck.
Y'all know Quinn
Texas no matter what.
Correct.
Well, everyone knows Quinn's hurt.
Yes, which is why I feel like everyone's on K-State. I want to lean Texas, but I'm gonna ride with Mikey here. Give me K-State.
Let's go.
I feel like that number, that 4 is
Yeah, a couple times.
All right. Next game, A&M at Ole Miss. It's Ole Miss -3.
I like Ole Miss. I think this line should be higher. Maybe you could say it's tricking you and wanting you to take Ole Miss, but I mean, I think if Ole Miss was going to have that like what the fuck game it was going to be against Auburn, I think this week they should take care of business. Is this Jimbo Fisher's last year?
It's his last game.
Is this the biggest game in his career?
It's up there.
If they lose by 17 to Lane after Lane's like trolling him about like trying to make a bowl.
But don't we kind of want him to beat Lane right now?
Yeah, no. I mean, I think we preferably yes.
For LSU's chances, yes, but for A&M's just to watch them crumble, no.
Well, but you could make the argument that you want them just good enough to where they're like, well, we can't fire Jimbo. He went 9-3. He went 9-3.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I like Ole Miss.
Me too.
Okay.
We're all on Ole Miss on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame at Clemson. Notre Dame -3.
I'll take Clemson. I'll be that guy.
I already said I like Clemson. Already been.
I mean, dude, like, why is this game 3?
I'm taking Notre Dame.
It's probably the better pick, but
okay, Missouri at Georgia -15.5.
But like, if it were Notre Dame -7, would you be like, that's a lot? That's too many points.
No,
exactly. Give me Clemson.
Yeah.
Everyone's burying Dabo, dude. Dabo, we're all talking about Tyler, and they're gonna go out and just get a W, and he's gonna all glory to God, bring your own guts. Like he's gonna have a come to Jesus meeting as ESPN. I wish this game was on the CW so they would like cut away and we didn't get to see it as he's like having this preacher moment after this game. But this feels like a Dabo, like digs down deep.
This is like a Dabo wins this game and he fucking announces his retirement. It's like I'm going out on top. Like, thank God.
or Dabo like really just pulls a Joe Pa and like breaks his leg running down the hill and it's like, I'm out, guys. I'm out.
That would be a great way to go. Just snaps his neck. It's like he's done. He's sorry, Missouri plus 15.5.
Yeah, I think Missouri can cover and not win. I think they have an offense. I'm interested to see how their offense does against Georgia. Like, hopefully they'll be able to move the ball, put up some points. Wouldn't shock me if Georgia is like a 45-20, like kind of does what they did against Florida back-to-back weeks. But I think Missouri has enough to kind of play in this game.
Yeah, we need some good footage of Georgia to break down for the SEC championship.
I'm going Missouri because this was like the same line as last week at Florida. I think Missouri's better.
At the cocktail party, neutral site.
This is Jacksonville.
Okay, next game, Oklahoma at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma -6.
I think I can speak for Mike here. I think we both
Upset
love
City,
Oklahoma.
baby.
Yes, they both love Oklahoma State here.
I'm gonna take Oklahoma just because.
Yeah, I can.
Why don't you trust your gut here? All signs point to Gundy.
No, I'm gonna take Oklahoma here, and then I'm gonna bet on because I'm gonna forget, and I'm gonna bet Oklahoma State on Saturday. So it's a win-win.
Oklahoma State always makes an appearance at some point in the season. Every year you forget they exist, and then every now and then they rear their head back and they're like, by the way, we know how to fucking play offense.
Yeah. Fox News, OAN shirt, Gundy comes out just ready to rip. I think it's going to be a really fun game. Like that's, going to be checking in on Missouri, Georgia, but I think I'm going to be watching this game majority.
All right, last one. Washington at USC. Washington -3.5. The big Phoenix.
76. The total 76.5.
I saw that. I think it's over.
I gave you I don't know, it must have been 2 weeks ago, it was like, "This is a USC prove it to me game." I'm done taking USC, I'd rather take the other side. Obviously, I think we all can agree Washington's a better team. It does feel like a weird line where, like, I kind of wanna take USC, but I've went to that well a couple times this year and gotten burned, so probably just gonna I'll take Washington.
The difference is going to be that this game's going to be on the line, and USC is not going to be able to stop a fucking thing. And Washington actually plays some physical defense. Like they're
This
not
has
amazing.
overtime.
They play defense. So I'm going to go Washington.
I hope this
Me
game is
too.
one of those that, like, takes forever so we can watch, like, the last 8 minutes somehow. It's like LSU game finishes with CBS, it's probably no chance of that happening, but being able to, like, flip over from, like, the joyous victory to just watch an overtime shootout with what
You know,
Washington and USC in the 60s.
you know what's crazy though, man? And it doesn't make sense why I don't do this or why I think this way. It's like I could record that and just put my phone down
It's
after the
different.
game and just watch it and pretend that it's live. But it's because everybody else knows what happened. It doesn't matter to me now.
People used to do that.
And it's
Yeah.
really hard too because the bottom line is gonna flash yellow signs at you like, "Look who scored! Look who scored! Look who scored! Best
Yeah.
quarterback in the history of
So
college football."
So just so we're clear, let's run through this real quick. Mike's picks were Kansas State, Ole Miss, Clemson, Missouri, Oklahoma State, and Washington.
Nope. Yeah, it's a.
I
Brett's
think we have the
was
same picks.
Brent. Yes, y'all had the exact same picks.
Oh,
Brett's
We're
was
gonna
Kansas
have to
State.
completely disregard this come Saturday.
Brett's were Kansas State, Ole Miss, Clemson, Missouri,
you said they're
Oklahoma
the same.
State, Washington. I know. I just wanted to say it. My picks were Texas, Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Missouri, Oklahoma, Washington.
I really feel like
Check that timestamp.
I really
kind
feel
of
like
wanna-
Brett wants Georgia.
I want to flip every pick.
Oh,
I won't do that because Grant will cry for fucking 4 weeks about that.
I'm not changing anything. You can change whatever picks you want.
No, it meant like you have to go in and fucking redo that whole spreadsheet.
Well, and then next week, it's kind of a perfect tactic because then I can just claim I won every game no matter what. But
I definitely had Georgia last week.
I want to take USC so bad.
I hope I'm wrong. That would actually be hilarious if I was wrong.
I want USC to win badly, dude. We need
Yes.
Washington to have a fucking hiccup bad.
Yes.
It's true.
Yes.
But once again, it's incredibly funny just to see how we couldn't get enough Colorado coverage 6 weeks ago, and now I forget they're a football team. It's hilarious.
Well, you remember they get their shit stolen.
Who are they playing this week?
They're playing at home against Oregon State in the nightcap.
That could be that's a game to pick.
It is.
What's the spread on that?
Oregon State minus 13.5.
Well, and Oregon State just lost to what? Arizona or someone Arizona State last week. The over under 62.5. That'd be a fun over.
God, that'd be awesome.
The spreads.
Colorado could have one last little splash of the season, knocking off Oregon State.
They're 4-4. They're almost bowl eligible.
That kind of seems about right though for them. It's like they had a huge upset.
And this isn't a game, LSU Bama is not going to end, and you're going to be like, man, I'm really ready to get to bed. Like you're going to be on every message board, listening to every post game, like all in. So it's like this game will be right in your face.
You know what? Lock of the week, Colorado.
All right.
Lock of the week.
Bonus pick.
I'm trying to see a game we haven't picked. Lock of the week, Michigan minus 32.5 at home against Purdue. We're going to fight for our boy Harbaugh. They're going to come out with like, what, how the players came out and like showed unity to Jim Harbaugh by like holding up 4, like getting in that weird formation. Like what if they did some like Army Ranger shit on the first play to like show solidarity with Stallions? That would be good.
I love how we can find common ground in rooting for Michigan. That's great.
I mean, at this point, the funniest outcome is Michigan winning the national title.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, that would be such a great season.
It
What
would be
a wild season. Michigan fucking wins the national championship. Jim
and
rides off to the NFL.
Harbaugh gets blackballed from college football on his way out. They're like taking everything from him, and he's just on the sidelines in Las Vegas in 6 months.
They always do. This is Jim's MO. You forget he's in college football until like around this time of the year, and it's just like this guy is the main attraction. And we don't really talk about it until it fucking gets cold and nippy, and you start seeing that hoodie and glasses and old 1950s ball cap, and you're just like, here we go. It's fucking November.
Stealing signs.
It looks like he could be working construction or the head football coach of the #1 team in the country. Like, it's unsure.
And he's got Make-A-Wish on the sideline, just fucking espionaging away.
Is that it? Do we now have to just like wait in our own brains until Saturday?
I mean, we'll talk about it.
I know, but it's so close yet so far away. I don't want the pod to end. But
did y'all have any good Halloween stories from yesterday?
I mean, I'll get mine out the way real quick because I'm kidless here, and it's kind of embarrassing that anyone would celebrate Halloween without children. But or like teenagers or college kids.
I don't have any kids.
I don't either, and I did it right. I'm just saying, like, let me get that out the way, and steal like a real story because Brett's probably got some fucking like perfect story over here. Beautiful family. No, just kidding. I wore a Batman mask and sat outside on the front patio. And the minute somebody walked up in a costume with a father walking him that's not dressed up, I'm just like, I got to go inside. I can't.
I look like a doofus.
Yeah, like I can't talk to neighbors and just be like, yeah, we're just out here. Like, because I half-assed the costume. Like, if I would have done like a full-blown get up, they would have been like, this guy's wild. Right.
But no, what happened is like everyone walked up and been like, well, this dude just has a Batman mask.
He threw a mask on.
This is not a Halloween exclusive.
Like, why are you not inside? And so I went back inside.
Yeah, I got kicked off of handing out candy duty many years ago because I don't have patience for kids sticking their grubby little hands and mitts in my fucking candy bowl.
Yeah, you barked at some kids.
Yeah, I teach lessons. Like, we do life lessons, and so I got kicked out of the candy passing a long time ago.
Oh, you gave me a Whopper. That's what you get.
No, I just do. These kids that just like dig in. I'm like, how about a fucking trick or treat, you little dirtbag?
No.
Are you dressed up? Are you just like, no, this is my fucking house. I'm not getting dressed for this shit, but here's the candy.
That's how it was at the old house. This house, like, our new neighborhood's only like 20 something houses. Like, it's a street. And so pretty much everyone's like in their driveway giving out candy, and there's a bunch of kids running around. So it's like, yeah, from 5 to 7, kids are trick-or-treating.
I hand out beer to the dads that look like they need one.
I know. One year, a lady was handing out margaritas, and I was like, I fucking love this neighborhood. And I guess Biden economics took over, and we can't be passing them out anymore. It's tough.
Okay, so you do or do not dress up?
No, I didn't dress up. Okay. Just didn't. We live. It's like Dominic Toretto. We live quarter mile at a time here. I don't plan ahead.
You have enough people in the house to like getting dressed up.
Yeah, I was just like, what am I gonna do? Go throw on a flannel and say I'm a farmer? Like, let's go get some candy.
That's awesome, man. That's exciting. Grant.
Yeah, I mean, we handed out candy. We handed out candy. The niece and nephew came over to walk the neighborhood while we handed out candy, and I do not let them put their hands in the jar. Well, my wife doesn't.
I thought y'all would have gone there.
It's
a better
move because our neighborhood,
candy wise,
our neighborhoods, there's 500 homes in our neighborhood.
Yeah, you're right.
I thought that you were going to a Halloween party. The fact that you like erected
Dude, that took 30 minutes. That took 30 minutes of time. We had just bought some new dining room chairs, so there was the perfect size box.
He's taking
What do you
any
think I did?
opportunity to go to Home Depot in that truck. He's like, babe, I
No, I
gotta build
had
a giant die. I
no,
gotta
no.
be a
You
die.
painted that
I
shit
had-
in 30 minutes?
Yeah, I had a box from the new chairs we got, and it was like a perfect square. I was like, oh, I can make a costume out of this. So I look up easy costumes with a cardboard box, and the first one I saw was a set of dice. And I was like, perfect. So I had some old shitty white paint. I just hurry up and brushed it
went to Home
down, let it
Depot.
dry. And then I had some black spray paint, and I had like this circle, and I spray, a stencil.
Oh, I thought those were like.
No, that was spray painted with a stencil. And that was it. Cut some holes in it, and that was it.
The boys at Home Depot know Grant by name when he runs in there finger gunning people. They're like, you're the one with the truck that can tow everything. It's like,
I feel like Grant has been in there so much now that like he doesn't pay them no mind. Like
sir, is there anything I can help with? He's like, please get out of my face.
I actually go to Lowe's. I have the Lowe's rewards card, not the Home Depot.
Good for you, dude. You're on the right side of history.
No free ads.
I like Lowe's. I like Lowe's as well.
I wish there was more besides the Ace. The Ace doesn't have enough lumber for me.
Of course not. Who could? Who could have enough lumber?
No, yeah, Ace is a little small town.
I like it. I go there a lot. They know me, I have an account there too. But
shout out Grant, joined late, so I'm going to rewind to the beginning. Go Tigers. You know this guy, or is this just
why shout out Grant? Who the fuck shouts you out?
I have no idea who this.
We're about to start about Grant.
We've talked about it before, but I always get a treat from the DMs. Like,
his name's Grant. His name's Grant.
I do love the tweets that are like, you guys are too hard on Grant. I'm like, you just don't fucking get it, man.
You don't get it, man.
Like, one, you don't have to put up with what we put up with. And two, it's way less funny if we're like, it's okay, Grant, take an hour to get the picks up. Like,
people act like
here
Grant
on your
doesn't
time.
like this role. Like they act like he doesn't enjoy the fucking. It's just bro humor.
It was in the contract I signed back in 2018.
Remember when that dude sent us a resume trying to be our intern?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, dude, your credentials are you had like an internship at like a broadcasting company. Your credentials are way too hefty for what we're doing here, bud.
But we appreciate that. Like
that's awesome.
I mean, like, dude, that's the same type of guy that's listening to this right now and being like, yeah, dude, Ashton Stamps is a fucking dog. And Jeremiah
look where Lon is today.
And look where Lon is today. Dude, Lon's fucking getting around, huh?
Dude, crushing the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, how funny would it be if we fucking teamed up with Lon? It's like just waited until he like started to gain in popularity, and it was just like, all right, by the way, like we've been with this dude all along.
If we respond to an email from 2018.
Yeah. Yo, Odyssey.
Sup?
My bad, dude. Just getting around to this.
Shit, bro. You caught me in a bad couple
of
years.
COVID.
You know COVID. What's your vax status before we go any further?
First question. All right, I'll pay for parking.
Is that a wrap?
I think that's a pod. We've wasted enough of these individuals' time. We thank you guys so much for listening.
Shout out to everybody hanging out in the chat, in the live chat with the boys. Let's just do it. Let's go get a dub.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
You gonna say over and out, or can I hit in stream?